Leonardo DiCaprio is born in Hollywood on November the 11th, 1974. At the age of 5, he starts acting. After small parts in soaps and television series, the 18-year-old DiCaprio gets his first big break in this boy's life. In 1994, he is nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe for his role in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. The young star becomes an idol for many teenage girls with his part in the blockbuster Titanic. The life of the young actor changes completely after this film, where he forms an unforgettable on-screen couple with Kate Winslet.
Well, you know, it is difficult at times, you know. Things start to change around you and you try and maintain to be the same person that you were, but obviously you need to adapt to the situation as well, you know. So you almost develop different personalities in a sense, which is something that I'm working on, you know. This is all definitely new to me. I just, you know, for the most part, all I care about is, you know, growing and learning more and doing good films, you know, career-wise. So whatever can maintain that is most important.
After the tremendous success of Titanic, DiCaprio plays the lead role in The Man in the Iron Mask. In this historical epic starring Jeremy Irons and John Malkovich, Leonardo has the opportunity to play not one, but two parts.
That was one of the most fascinating parts about the movie for me. Simply about, you know, two twins that are pretty much identical being put into two different environments. How they come about as human beings, well, their, you know, internal willpower and who they really are, you know, sort of rise above their environment and what they've been living with. For example, you know, the king being told his whole life he's the closest thing to God, and you know, Philippe being trapped in a mask. What kind of men do they become when they're put out of those situations? So, you know, and getting into each character was, you know, that's the fun part for me as an actor, is sort of being comfortable with each one of the characters and being able to switch over, you know, sometimes 4 times in one day. That's fun for me. So.
In 2000, Leonardo stars in The Beach by Slumdog Millionaire director Danny Boyle. The movie has its premiere at the Berlin Film Festival, and in the German capital, it's very clear how popular Leonardo still is. But the popularity can have its drawbacks. It's sometimes difficult for the actor to keep the hordes of admiring women at a safe distance.
You adapt, you carry on, and you get to a place where you just have a certain amount of acceptance towards it, and you realize that it is true. Once you establish with yourself that it is out of your control, and you really have no control in the situation, and you're really pretty much, you know, result of what anyone at any time could say anything they want, and it could mutate into, you know, if it's an out-and-out lie, it could, you know, eventually be thought of as the truth, and you can't do anything about that. And you just have to sort of realize that along with that con becomes, there is the fantastic thing, which is the opportunity to be a performer and let that speak for who you are as opposed to anything else. You know, that's what I choose to, you know, let's speak for who I am. I don't want to comment on, you know, every little damn thing that's said. You know, that I want my art to sort of speak for who I am, because that's what I do.
With the 2002 movie Gangs of New York, Leonardo DiCaprio not only gets to work with Daniel Day-Lewis and Cameron Diaz, it's also the first time he has the opportunity to be directed by the legendary Martin Scorsese. The filmmaker had wanted to film this epic for many years, but the enormous costs of the project resulted in the movie studios constantly rejecting it. With Leonardo on board, the film gets made, and a dream finally comes true for the actor.
I remember somebody telling me, oh, there's this Martin Scorsese project about, you know, young Irish immigrants and gangsters. It's called Gangs of New York, blah, blah, blah. He's been wanting to do it for ages. I said, well, God, I have to do that. I have to do that. So I actually left my old agent to go with a new agent when I was like 17 in hopes to meet with Marty and get this project going. Never ended up meeting Marty for the next, you know, 6 years. Then finally, I was represented by Rick Yorn, and Mike Ovitz was working with him, and he had a history with Marty. And I said to them, "Look, you know, get me this project. Let's do this. I want to do this with Marty." And they started talking with Marty, and they asked Marty what he wanted to do. He coincidentally said that he'd been wanting to do that for a while. And then I was doing The Beach in Thailand, and I got a phone call saying that, you know, he wanted to do Gangs of New York with me, and I was in shock.
That same year, Leonardo is nominated for a Golden Globe for his role in the movie Catch Me If You Can, a film by Steven Spielberg. The fact that he always follows his own path has made sure that Leonardo is very much at home in Hollywood, and he is appreciated by his world-famous colleagues, like Tom Hanks.
How can you not know that Leo is the guy in What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet? I didn't know Leo, but I always viewed him as the finest actor of his generation, a guy who's already made incredibly bold choices in what the type of work that he wanted to do. And listen, I'll try to hang on to Leo's coattails, provided he wears a coat.
In 2006, he receives an Oscar nomination for his role in Blood Diamond. The film is based on the violence and bloodshed generated by the diamond trade in Africa. Filming this movie made quite an impression on DiCaprio.
I didn't quite know how it has dramatically affected people and to what degree in Africa. So now that I'm more conscious of it, you know, it's something that I have certainly a different attitude about, and you know, it's a very complicated issue, though, because I don't think that anyone's saying don't buy diamonds at all. I think that's the wrong message. It's about specifically saying, you know, if there is any percentage of conflict diamonds still out there, anything that's still contributing to situations like this, they have to be stopped, you know.
DiCaprio can also be seen in The Departed, a crime thriller directed by Martin Scorsese. It's the third time the two work together, and Leonardo is still very impressed by Scorsese's sheer genius.
His authenticity is just amazing, and his attitude towards filmmaking still at this age and this stage in his career is amazing. He's a film fanatic, and he loves making movies more than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
And Leonardo DiCaprio is still not finished with Scorsese. Soon the actor will be seen in the director's next project, the crime thriller Shutter Island. Recently, DiCaprio reunited with Titanic co-star Kate Winslet in Revolutionary Road. Overall, the actor can't believe how lucky he has been in his career.
My expectations for coming into this business weren't really anything. I thought, okay, maybe I'll get a commercial or two, or get a TV show, or hopefully a movie, and it'll pay for, you know, my college tuition. And that was my attitude coming into it. And I just, it was a series of, I just felt like, you know, I perpetuated because it was something that I loved doing, and I kept doing it, and I kept hacking away, and I eventually got lucky.
And is it as good as he expected it to be?
Is it as I expected? Oh, hell yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is a talented actor and a real star who will be around for many years to come.